Hey guys, welcome back to Farming Simulator 2013. I am Brad M73. Let's see, today we are going to be slinging poo. We're going to be playing with our poo in a manner of speaking. As soon as I can find my... Let's see here. Well, that one would be a good field to sling poo on. Let's see, what am I looking for? I'm looking for, okay, the front loader. And let's see here. What we're going to do is we are going to try out a manure spreader, and then we're going to try out a like a slurry tank, because I want to kind of see how they work. Okay. There's basically 3 different types of manure spreaders. I have no idea. Let's see, loading volume. I mean, I don't really know if one like maybe puts out a narrow stream and the other one puts out like a wider one. She's 68 for fertilizes the cow pastures. Let's see. Best selling manure spreader. To load it, use the front loader or a telescopic loader. Okay. Consists of a wide compact frame design in which the upper and lower frames are welded into the sidewalls, and the rungs improve rigidity and surface of the body. Consists of a conical. Yeah, so it doesn't really say, if they put out, like which one puts out a wider spread or a narrower spread. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna buy the cheap one, and I'm just gonna teleport these guys back to the farm. What was that up there? Oh. I'm going to teleport. Oh, shoot. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Ah, crap. I don't think I'll be able to. Alright, well. I guess we'll have to run over and pick it up. Which won't take very long. Ooh, I can't wait to play with some poo. Oh, for a second there, I didn't see it. I thought maybe I didn't buy it, but it's there. Whoops. All right, there we go. And pretty much looks like a manure spreader as I remember them. Yeah, I'm not sure if I mentioned it in a previous video, or I might have been talking about it like on a forum post. But I remember when I was a kid being up on the farm, my aunt and uncle's farm. I'd usually stay there with them during the summers for, I don't know, 2 to 4 weeks, or maybe off and on for a week here and there throughout the summers, or a week or two. And so one year we go out and we had to clean out the barn. We had a big barn that they stored all the hay in, and they had like sheep pens, where the sheep would come in to feed and things like that. And so, we'd have to lay down hay for them all winter, and in the springtime and early summer, after probably a year or more, you'd have to get in there and shovel it out. So they would rent like a backhoe or a bobcat, or something like that with a bucket on it. And they had a manure spreader out in the field, and this manure spreader looked like it was built around 1901. It was probably later than that, but it had been sitting in the field for so long that it was really rusty, and it just looked like this old antique. And I thought, there is no way that this thing's even going to work. But it actually ended up working. Let's see if we can. I don't think we'll be able to back it in, but just in case. Oops. But anyway, my uncle decided to go out and hook it up to the wagon and see if, let's see, turn on. First I need to fill. Yeah, it's not going to work. Alright, so we'll leave that there. So my uncle decided to go out into the field and pick up the manure spreader on the tractor and got her all greased up and lubed up and all that kind of stuff, and filled it up with manure and took it out on the field and started flinging manure all over the place. And we laughed and we laughed and we laughed for 30 minutes. It was really funny. And oh, we gotta use both fingers. There we go. And it worked. And so that was my first experience with a manure spreader. Never ever seen a slurry tank. That sounds really gross because it reminds me of a Slurpee, and I wouldn't want a manure Slurpee. That would really suck. There might be some people out there that would enjoy a manure Slurpee, but I am not one of them. Ugh. I just remember the smell from digging up all the sheep poo, and there's probably some horse poo and cow poo mixed in there too, and it was just this it was like ammonia. Once it gets compacted and it's fermenting, it's really a strong, powerful ammonia-like smell, which was not pleasant on the nostrils, but had to be done. And it was worth a good laugh watching poo fly everywhere. All right, I think it's full. So we'll go and dump off the rest of the poo. Actually, you know what? I'm going to run over and see if I'm just going to see if I need to I need to put any poo in here in my greenhouse, because it may need some poo. Come on. No, it's full too. Okay. I kind of want to buy like 2 different. Whoa. Forward. I'm just going to refill the water here since we're there. All right. So we're going to go dump the rest of the poo back in the manure pen, and then we're going to take this spreader down to the main field that needed fertilizing, and we're going to fertilize it. Close up my teeth here. All right. Hey, there's chocks under the wheels. Under the tires. I didn't see that before. That's kind of cool. You can look at the manure spreader. There's chocks under the tires to keep it from rolling back and forth. That's kind of cool. Haven't seen that on any other vehicles. Nice attention to detail there. Alright, so off we go into the wild blue yonder. Yeah, I know. Don't quit my day job, right? Let's see. I haven't played Euro Truck Sim in a couple days, or Farming Simulator in a couple days. Just been working on getting the videos processed, trying to get that stuff going, and I actually was trying to get caught back up on Aliens, Colonial Marines, because I found a bunch of videos had been corrupted, I guess, or I don't know, weren't writing properly. And so they were just turning black and the sound was not good. So that kind of stank, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. Alright, so let's kind of, first of all, I just want to kind of go out into the field here. So turn on the spreader. Ew, there's poo. Oh my gosh, we're getting covered. So I just want to kind of see, okay, so it's a pretty narrow spread. We'll just do this small field and golly, that little tiny bit and was only 66%, or we used 33% or 34% of our manure. Well, I don't know, maybe it wasn't at 100% when I first started. I don't remember. I didn't even really look. Okay. Oh, pff, wrong button. Okay, there we go. So we're at cruise control speed number 2. Oh, we couldn't have been full. Whoa. Yeah, I don't think we were full. So you just turn B on to get the manure slinging out. Okay. And again, this is free, so I mean, as long as you're, you know, if you're wanting to fertilize your fields and you don't want, you know, you don't mind doing it manually, and you don't want to spend the money on fertilizer, you know, even if you do fertilizer manually, it's obviously a lot cheaper, but if you use the little trick where you put, you know, the fertilizer bin on the front of your tractor, you know, as you're cultivating or planting or whatnot, that actually costs more because it's running constantly, and a lot of times, you know, the spray is a lot wider than the tractor, and you know, you're actually using way more fertilizer than you actually need. So you know, again, if you don't really mind fertilizing yourself, manure is completely free. Well, you know, as long as you're, you know, as long as you're taking care of your cattle and they're, you know, pooping and making manure. Let's go. 20, 19, 18. Oh. Turn it back on. Yeah, and I'm just having thoughts in my head of this, you know, that ammonia smell of manure as I'm doing this. Okay, so we're almost empty. And when we're done with this one, I'm actually going to take it back to the you know, the tractor supplier, and we're going to sell it. So all right, here we are. And so we're going to take him back and we're going to sell him, and let's see here. Grab a sip of water here. Oh, zoomed out too far. All right. So I'm going to sell this one, and I'm just going to get the most expensive manure spreader. And then we're going to see how much yeah, we're going to sell that one, and we're going to get this one, the expensive one. And I just want to see, oh, that's a way bigger one. What I really want to see is if, if the larger one has a wider spread of, poo. We need to spread the poo around, if you know what I mean. And that's really gross, but, that's how you fertilize a field. I was kind of thinking, I'm not a farmer. I grew up helping I'm kind of a city boy. My aunt and uncle, my cousins used to call me city boy, and all their friends used to call me city boy. And I didn't grow up in the city. I grew up in a rural area around the city, in the suburbs. But I'm not a city boy. Like not urban, downtown kind of city. But anyway, they would call me city boy, and that's fine. And I don't really remember driving a tractor. No, I don't think I ever drove the tractor. I might have once, like pulling the hay cart. But we used to bale hay and herd the sheep and feed the sheep and the cows and take straw and hay out to the cows and sheep and do all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of my mom owns a farm. Actually, it used to be my grandmother's farm until she passed. My mom, she has cousins of mine that farm it for her, and they grow corn and soybeans, and I think they mainly go back and forth between soybeans and corn. Not sure if there's anything else that they farm, but there might. I'm not really sure, but I would think that if you're going to fertilize a field, you would want to go from, you would want to kind of fertilize the high spots down to, so that when it rains, the nutrients would kind of flow downhill into the lower spots. I don't know if any of you guys are farmers and that seems logical, then let me know. I'm just kind of curious about that. Don't really see that kind of micro detail in this game, but it's just something that crossed my mind, and as I was laying out manure back there, so I could be completely wrong, but all the nutrients, when it rains and things like that, all the nutrients in the soil tend to pool in the low areas of the field, and sometimes if you get the right amount of rain growth, you get really good, really healthy looking plants there, sometimes compared to the higher elevation portions of the field. Come on. Oops, wrong way. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick up one bucket full for this guy. So you pick up the low sections of the field, pick up the the more nutrients. A lot of times, if you're
You know, I can remember many times just driving around the fields, or you know, just in farming country. You know, you can kind of see the low areas of soil tend to be darker. You know, possibly because they're holding more water, but it could also be nutrients as well. Where the higher areas tend to be kind of a lighter color. Thought I was going to sneeze there for a second. All right, so now we got our larger Bergman manure spreader. Let's see, the manure spreader my uncle had was kind of the same, except it was mostly wood, where this one looks mostly metal. And then it just had one wheel across the back, kind of went horizontal, where I think these look more like they're vertical spreader wheels. And it's just like a, you know, kind of like a rotary blade kind of thing, with a bunch of spikes on it that just, you know, shred up the manure that's in the wagon as it's pushed backwards. And I mean, it was pretty small. I mean, it, you know, our spreader was like a quarter of this, as big as this thing, if not smaller than that. And I mean, it was empty in about 3 minutes. So you know, it definitely went very quickly. All right, so we're gonna see if this has any wider of a spread. Oh yeah, this one's about, well, maybe twice as wide as the other one. Yeah, definitely a lot wider. Two, one, and it's done. Alrighty. Well, now what we're gonna do is look at the two slurry tankers. Now there's two different versions. We'll start off with the small one. I'm just gonna leave this guy here for right now. So, you know, now we know how to pick up our manure. Taking another drink of water there. So now we know how to, you know, work the manure spreaders with the dry manure. So, you know, if you want to, if you want to keep all the manure for the greenhouses, you can do that. But if you want to use them for free, free fertilization, you know, now you know how to do it. It's really easy to do. You just need to get a front loader that has the manure fork on it, or I think just the regular bucket will work too, like the scoop shovel bucket kind of thing. But the manure fork holds 3,000 manures, where the 3,000 units of manure, where the bucket only holds 2,000. So this definitely, this one that I have on here on my tractor right now definitely makes it a lot easier to. Actually, I'm going to go this way. This was a little bit faster. Anyway, this bucket makes it a lot quicker to load your manure spreader, and greenhouses and things like that for that matter. It takes a little bit of practice to open up the jaws of the bucket or fork or whatever the heck it's called. This way, there's our, what are these little yellow thing? I never noticed those yellow stripes down at the bases of the solar panels before. Not a big deal, but I think this one's kind of like the manure spreader, except it uses the slurry, the slurry, which is kind of like a liquid that comes off of the manure. So you have, you kind of have the drier manure, which we were using, which we just got done using, and you have like a wet manure, which is more kind of like cow diarrhea, and you can, well, in the game obviously it kind of depends on what the cows are eating. If they're eating nothing but grass, then they have a more of the soft diarrhea kind of manure, and if they're eating hay, they have a drier, more solid stool, so you get the drier, harder manure. And so the soft manure, let's see, fill level. First you need to fill the implement, so we'll refill the slurry tank. And I'm going to fill it up to about 30% here, which will be enough. And then we'll take this one down. Take him back down to the field. Garant Kata. I'm not sure how that's pronounced, but yep. Don't play with your poo, kids. Yeah, so it basically just comes out the little nozzle in the back there and just sprays it up into the air. And I'm just going to drive up through this little dry patch here because I just want to see how wide the... Oh, that one's a lot wider, actually. Well, a lot wider than I was thinking it was going to be. And then as far as like, crop yield, I don't know if there's any advantage whatsoever to using, the cow manure or slurry over, I don't know if there's any advantage whatsoever over using that or or the normal fertilizer. I have no clue. If somebody knows and can let me know, then that would be awesome. Okay. I should move that tractor, but I'm lazy, so... So we're going to just see how much of the field this guy can cover. Apparently not much. It's going down pretty quick. One and done. One and done. All right. All right, so we're going to take this one back. So now we know how wide our, our fertilization path is with this guy, but we knew that, the cheaper ones are never as good as the more expensive ones. That was me drinking water again, sorry. So we're just going to drive up, drop this guy off in the little yellow area. Oh, come on now. Come on. Get out of there. Okay. Sell him, yep. And then we're going to buy. Wow, that's a huge difference. Kottke Garant. See, 8150, 19. Okay, so it's got like almost, it's got a little bit more than twice the amount of volume. And we're going to buy him. So now we definitely don't have any money. Well, we got money, but not much. Okay. So this will be our last trip back over to the cow area. And this one we probably want to pick up the front weight because I can tell we're not getting a lot of speed already. Yeah, this one's going slow, so we definitely need to pick up the front weight. Wonder if I can get away with, you know, I don't look like using that barrel because it's not really aerodynamic or something with, well, I just don't think it works quite as well with this front loader. I mean, it works, it's just not ideal, I guess, for whatever reason. No, oh shoot, I should have. Man, there's like all these hoses. Now I've not used this before, so I don't know. I guess these things fold out. I think it's probably like the let's see. It's probably like where's the? Yeah, it's probably like this, like the 5200s or the 1801, where it's got these arms that kind of fold out. That's what I'm gonna guess. But, you know, I haven't used them, so I don't know for sure. But I would say that's a pretty safe bet. Let's see, unfold. Yeah, unfold slurry tank. I guess we could. Let's get across the bridge because it looks like it might be pretty wide once it's unfurled. Oh. Yeah, it is pretty darn wide. Okay, I'm gonna fold you back in. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty darn wide. Wow, the only downside I really see to this thing so far is basically just having to come all the way back over to our farm to have to fill it up again. But, you know, like I said, it's free as long as we keep our cows fed. Let's see our fill level on our slurry tanks. Okay, 98%. I'm going to disconnect this and just run over. I don't know if that's going to continue to fill or not. I guess we'll find out. I'm just going to go over and get the front weight. Hopefully it'll continue to fill. I'm going to be shocked if it does, but hopefully it will. See, this is why I don't like this front weight with this front loader. Come on. Ugh. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to drop it right there. And then I'll just come back and pick it up when I leave.
which, come on. Oh, there we go. Let's see, turn on slurry, tanker. Why did it not fill up all the way? Push mouse button for additional controls. Let's see, change tool selection. I don't know why it's not filling up all the way. That's bizarre. Well, no, it says 19,500. Oh, I think it's because I have this bin on the front. Maybe? Yeah, that's what it is. It's because I have the poop shovel on the front. All right. All right, so there we go. Getting back up to 30 miles an hour. I don't know if lowering the front rate's gonna do anything. Raise it up, I guess. This is so exciting. This is so exciting. You know what I wish they had wider planters. Man, the planters in this game, or not planters, but like the seeders, seem so narrow. All right, so now we can, oops. Now we can start unfolding this thing seriously. And it looks like it might be twice as wide as the other one, or maybe not quite twice as wide. All right, there we go. And when you get to the ends of the field, you always want to make sure you turn it back off again. Whoa. Go down to cruise control speed 1. Turn it back on. I'll just try to pick a straight path across the field. And I like to look at my lines, like if you look at, like from this perspective, the left side of where it's putting down the fertilizer, see how there's like a step in the line there. That'll give you an indication that you need to turn back, turn back directions. Actually, I should speed up so that I get better usage of the. Oh, yikes! Don't get stuck. Let's see here. Let's kind of get moved over this way some more. And I'm gonna hit speed 2 and then turn my spreader or my slurry on again. And when I say I hit 2, that's, I'm hitting the cruise control speed 2. You're not supposed to hit 3 because it apparently goes too fast. So it's burning through manure pretty quick. And I'm hoping that we can actually get this field done, though I'm not too optimistic right now. Whoa.
Okay, hit 2, hit B to turn on. And we're gonna have a little gap there, but not that big of a deal. Yeah, I don't think it's going to do this whole field. Of course, I went through that one lane at speed 1, so that's might be why. Yeah, it's going to be done here in just a second. And we are out of poo. So, well, now we can fold it back up and head back over and fill it up again. So I'm going to keep this slurry tanker to do my fertilizing. You know, if I don't feel like spending the money. It's kind of a cool little device to have. So I am going to keep this one. I'm going to return this other manure spreader, I think, over there. Well, actually, I probably should keep it. Choices. I don't know what to do. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. Should I keep my hard manure spreader, or should I just keep the slurry tank? I'm definitely going to keep the slurry tanker, but I don't know what I'm going to do with my other manure spreader. So tell me what you guys think in the comments. Oh, let's see. I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do in upcoming episodes. I guess we'll just keep on trying to farm and build out our wind farm. Oh, I want to do. I bought one of the large fields. Whoa! Sorry, grass cutter guy. All right, so we'll fill. Let's see. Need to fill. Yeah, I know. Shoot. Can I back it up and fill it up? There we go. So let's see. I bought this big field down here, I think. Oops. Yeah, I own this big field down here. So it's pretty big. It's bigger than field number 7, which I also own. And it's kind of longer in this area. Actually, there's a little green spot there. I wonder what that's all about. I'll have to check that out. Maybe we'll have to plow that up. But I do want to, do a harvest on this field. I'm thinking corn would be a good choice. And then we could just take it down to the mill right there to sell it. So anyway, let me know what you guys want to see. I finally posted the alien egg video, which I think is like episode 16. So if you haven't seen it, it's just a really short episode, but it shows where I found the alien egg, which I think was over here between field 23 and 32 somewhere, or 32 and 34. I think it was 23 and 32. So that was kind of fun. And then let's see, I think I still have 3 more. Yeah, I've got 97 out of the 100 horseshoes. And I need to find the last 3, so I might actually work on that. And then when I find the last one, I'm going to do an episode where we find the last one and see if anything, special or magical happens or anything like that. So I'm going to work on that for you guys over the weekend probably. And so, we've got some things planned. But yeah, if there's anything you guys want to see, please let me know. And I'll try to get you guys accommodated. So that's going to be it for today, or for now at least. Guys, I thank you again for watching. If you're liking the videos, please give me a thumbs up. Please like the videos on Facebook, or I'm sorry, on YouTube, so that it just helps me get more exposure, and helps people, more people see the videos. So, and actually, I have my front weight on here, which I didn't want on here. So yeah, but yeah, please like the videos, please subscribe, please post comments. I know some people don't like to post comments if they've got questions or criticisms or tips or whatnot, but please feel free to if you'd like. It definitely helps keep me motivated, and if there's things that you guys want to see, then it's gonna motivate me to do more for you guys. So I'm Brad M73. I really appreciate that you guys are watching, and we will see you in the next episode. Thanks again, guys, and bye for now.